The wind howled through the broken windows as rain dripped from the collapsing roof. The old neon sign that once read Maggie's Diner flickered weakly, half-broken and forgotten. David Miller, a man in his mid-30s with a scruffy beard and eyes dulled by exhaustion, pushed open the squeaky door, holding his little daughter's hand tightly. "Stay close, sweetheart," he whispered. Lila, just 7 years old, clutched a small, dirt-stained stuffed rabbit. Her pink jacket was torn at the sleeve, her blonde curls damp from the drizzle. They had been walking for hours, hungry, freezing, and nearly hopeless. The diner was a ghost of its past life. Torn vinyl booths, dust-covered tables, a cracked jukebox in the corner that hadn't played a song in years. Yet somehow, despite the ruin, there was warmth in the air, faint but real. David felt it too. He guided Lila to a booth and sat down, pulling his worn jacket tighter. "Just for a bit," he said softly. "We'll rest, then keep going." But when he looked at her small face, pale from hunger, he knew they couldn't keep going. There was nowhere left to go. Lila's voice was a whisper. "Daddy, it smells like pancakes." David frowned. The scent was there, faint and sweet like syrup and coffee. He glanced toward the counter where an old coffee pot sat untouched. "That's just your imagination, honey," he said, but he wasn't sure anymore. Then he noticed something strange. The old jukebox in the corner hummed quietly, the power long since gone. A soft glow flickered from within, and a faint tune began to play. An old country song, slow and haunting. Lila gasped and turned to her father, eyes wide. "Daddy, someone's here." David's heart raced. He stood looking toward the kitchen. "Hello?" His voice echoed through the empty diner. No answer, just the sound of dripping water and that strange, ghostly melody. He stepped behind the counter. Dust clung to everything, yet there was a plate sitting there. A fresh plate of pancakes, still steaming, as if just made. He froze.
"What in the—"
Lila slid off the booth and came to his side. "Daddy, they made it for us," she said with innocent certainty. David looked at her, her sunken cheeks, her tiny hands trembling from cold. Logic fought with desperation. He finally exhaled and whispered, "Okay, maybe they did." He sat her down and handed her the fork. "Eat, baby girl." Lila hesitated. "Aren't you eating?" He smiled faintly, shaking his head. "You first." She took one bite. Then another. "It's warm," she said with a little smile, her first in days. David swallowed hard, his eyes glistening. When she offered him a piece, he took it, and to his shock it was warm, soft, real. That night, they stayed. He found an old blanket in the back room, dusted off a booth, and made it their bed. As Lila fell asleep, David sat by the window, listening to the storm fade outside. For the first time in months, he didn't feel lost. The diner, broken, decayed, felt like it was keeping them safe. At dawn, a light shone through the cracked blinds. David woke to the sound of Lila giggling. She stood by the counter, pointing. "Daddy, someone cleaned!" He blinked. The floors sparkled. The tables gleamed. The jukebox stood tall, polished, and new. The neon sign outside glowed brightly again. Maggie's Diner. David stumbled to the door. Outside, the parking lot was cleared of weeds, the sky clear and golden. "How?" he whispered. Then on the counter he saw a photograph in a frame. It showed a smiling woman, mid-40s, brown hair tied back, wearing a diner apron, standing beside a man and a young girl who looked eerily like Lila. On the back of the photo, written in faded ink, "For those who need a new beginning, Maggie." David's breath caught. "Maggie," he whispered, looking around. A gentle warmth filled the air again, like invisible hands guiding him. That afternoon, a delivery truck rolled up unexpectedly. The driver, an older man, stepped out. "You the new owner?" he asked. David blinked. "What?" "Got your order here. Supplies for Maggie's reopening." "She's been closed too long," the man said, handing him a clipboard. David stared down at the form. His name was already written on it. There's a mistake," the man shook his head. "No mistake, son. Maggie said someone would come who needed a second chance." Lila ran to the doorway, eyes sparkling. "Daddy, we can live here, right?" He looked at her, at the laughter returning to her face, the color coming back to her cheeks, and he finally smiled. Yeah, baby. Maybe this is home now. Over the next few weeks, they cleaned, painted, and repaired the diner together. The townsfolk slowly started visiting again, curious about the man and his daughter who brought Maggie's diner back to life. David told them he was just passing through, but the truth was he never left. Every morning when he unlocked the door, the faint smell of pancakes filled the air again. And sometimes, when the sunlight hit the jukebox just right, he swore he could see the reflection of a woman in an apron smiling back at him. Because some places aren't just buildings. Some places are miracles, waiting for the right broken souls to bring them back to life.